all the haters, it's all about one. Got a message from someone and he said my music garbage. I admit it hurt at first, but that's not for you regardless. Trying to reach a human starving, that's searching through the garbage. Talking to the carpet from the drugs that they be doing. Often been at this 3 years, though there's always room to grow. With the cypher sessions I wouldn't be this dude, you know. I'm a blessing's beautiful, never taking that for granted. Who the fuck are you trying to take this away from Brendan? Rather I go back to habits, searching through your wallet. Maybe OD again, end up in a coffin. Why don't hate on what I love, really got me lost, man. Get your weight up to my gains, maybe we can talk then. Not helping build, not taking what you offering. Not expecting you to like it or pretend we're all friends. Trying to get my life right, find someone that I'm like. Save your opinion, I got control of my life. I'm trying to reach that one person. 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 Fuck all the haters, it's all about one.
What's going on with the YouTube? It's your boy Reckless here once again to do another interview. Got the homeboy, Dopeless. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. All right. So, let's get right into it. Tell us how you got started in the rap.
Well, back in high school, I would freestyle, you know, just for fun, not really doing anything with it. And then I got heavily into drugs and alcohol, partying, you know, for a good amount of time in my life. And then, you know, I went to rehab for 6 months before I turned 21. And now I'm about to see like 6 years clean and sober. But right after I graduated rehab, I was kicking it with my homie Ash, and we were downtown at Pergolaces, and and one of my friends hit us up and was like, hey, Team Backpack, you know, is repping San Francisco, Cypher Effect is repping Los Angeles, but like, what about Santa Cruz, you know? Like, what does Santa Cruz have to offer in terms of hip hop? And he just grabbed me, my homie Ash, and a couple of our friends, and we went to go freestyle on the beach at the boardwalk. And, you know, after that night, like, I started writing. Like, I wrote like 14 songs within 2 weeks. There was only like a handful of them that I really liked, and I did what I could to go record them. And after that, man, it was kind of a wrap. Like, I started getting really heavily involved in our crew, which was called Santa Cruz Cypher Sessions. It kind of disbanded over the years, but that's where it all started for me.
Good shit, dude. How did you get the name Dopeless?
Dopeless was actually, you know, when I first started making music, I leaned heavily on the whole me being sober thing. Like, that was I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say it was a gimmick. I guess by definition it kind of was. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to talk about my experiences with drug use and overcoming that. So in rehab, there was a sign that said, you know, we walked in hopeless dope fiends, but we walked out dopeless hope fiends. And I kind of ran my name on that premise. And now it's kind of like sobriety will always be a part of who I am, but it doesn't necessarily define me. So I kind of just wanted to, you know, still keep it as a name and show love to the fact that, you know, that's where I got my start and what I wanted to represent. But, you know, I explore all facets of my life now. But that's where I got my name initially.
Good shit, dude. So you're from Santa Cruz, right? Tell us about the music scene in Santa Cruz. Like, how is the hip-hop presence over there?
Man, you know, over the past couple years, I would say the hip-hop scene in Santa Cruz was starting to get really poppin'. Like, we had, you know, Santa Cruz Cypher Sessions was at the forefront of bringing new, great ideas to the Santa Cruz community. Like, with events that brought acts like Alien Family, Locksmith, Illmaculate, like a whole bunch of, you know, really prominent names in the underground hip-hop world to Santa Cruz. We threw the very first, and it looks like only, Santa Cruz Hip Hop Festival. But it kind of seems like, at least to me, ever since then, you're kind of, when you see like a hip hop show in Santa Cruz, you're mainly going to see it at like a dive bar. There's not too many, and this is no shade to anybody out there doing music. Like, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to get in where you fit in. So at the end of the day, like, you know, a dive bar show that could be that could still be really popping, but you know, there's no one really bringing innovative ideas anymore. And I think that's kind of like why I wanted to take time off, because I wanted to figure out a new way to do this stuff. You know, I wanted to find a new way to connect with the audience, because in this day and age, it's really hard to connect with people. Like, their attention spans are so short. It's like you're in 1 minute, and then the next, like, everyone already forgot about you. You know what I mean?
I feel it. Do you feel like you're gonna be the guy who's gonna bring new ideas to the whole like Santa Cruz hip hop scene?
That's a lot of responsibility. But I mean, you know, the one thing I wouldn't say I'm gonna be the guy, but like, when it comes down to my sound overall, like, I personally feel like I bring a sound that not really many people have.
Alright, so tell us how you got your style and who influenced it.
I would definitely say that one of my biggest influences would be the homie Jeff Turner, representing San Jose. He really instilled in me one vital thing that I think is helpful for any artist, and I believe that one thing would be to, you know, just rap about what you believe in, but also learn like the technical skills of being an MC, you know. He really embodies like what it is to rap about something extremely positive but have it not come off corny, or like, you know, he really flexes on the singing tip, which is like something that I've been trying to do within myself. Like, I was a singer first before I was ever a rapper. Like, I made it into all-state honor choir when I was in high school. So when I heard him singing like he does on his tracks, and rapping the way that he does, I'm never gonna bite anybody, but it really influenced the way that I approach stuff, especially now, with the new stuff that I've been writing.
Good shit, man. And what do you hope to convey, you know, in your music? You know, what's the overall message of your music?
I feel like before, I was definitely confused on what I wanted to say. Like, I knew, like, each song that I have has had some type of message in some way, shape, or form, but you know, nothing was ever really concise, and it wasn't really attacked in a strategic way. Like, but now, the overall message that is becoming really apparent in my new music is like, I just want people that listen to it to really recognize within themselves that they're great people, and you know, that they can do what they want to do, and they don't have to answer to anybody for it. And I'm really trying to get people that listen to my music to a place where I want them to listen to my music and want, like, the new stuff that I'm writing. I'm really trying to one, have people be able to like bump it, like, and I'm not just talking about like listening to it, but really like have it bang in their speakers and actually have them feel amped up about that in their life.
That's right, dude. And what does hip hop overall mean to you?
Hip hop is just expression to me. I think a lot of people kind of go back and forth on what is real hip hop and what's fake hip hop. You know, like, a lot of my friends would probably like give me some kind of flack for this, but like, at the end of the day, like, someone like Lil Yachty getting the crowd turned up is still just as hip hop as like Merce on stage, like spitting some knowledge to the people, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hip hop to me is just like expressing what you want to do through that style of music or lifestyle. Like, what do you want to turn up? There's music for that. Do you want to like get super conscious and, you know, take a look at our government in a creative way? There's hip hop for that. Like, do you want to lay out some cardboard and breakdance? Like, you can do that. You know what I mean? It's really all about just expressing who you are.
Would you consider yourself a rapper or an MC? You know, because there's always a distinction between both of them when it comes to hip hop.
There's always like a distinction, and people tend to go back and forth on this one too. I would consider myself an MC just for the simple fact an MC just means master of ceremonies, and being a master of ceremonies in terms of music, in my opinion, you got to be able to make people feel something. And you know, like even today when I posted a Facebook status about doing the interview with you today, someone commented on that status saying, hey, I've been losing a lot of people in my life. Your song Angels Sing has really helped me through that. Like, you know, and I feel like that's an MC. Like, if you can get on stage and make someone cry because you're rapping about you're rapping about like never having your dad in your life, and someone's crying because of that, or like, you know, you dedicated a song to your mom and you have multiple women in the crowd crying over that, then by definition I think you're an MC. If you can make people jump up and down and scream and, you know, have the best time of their life at a show that only has like 20 people in it, you're definitely an MC. So I feel like I would categorize myself as that.
Would you consider someone like Lil Uzi or Lil Yachty an MC? By your definition, you know, somebody who can turn up a crowd and make them feel things like that. You know what I mean? Would they be considered, in your opinion, an MC as well?
I would, actually. And it's funny because I brought up Merce a couple seconds ago.
Yeah.
But that's because I saw a video that he put up, that he worked with Hip Hop DX on. He was covering the whole like real hip hop issue, and you know, he brought up a really, really, really strong point. And if you look at like hip hop in the 70s, you know, when it originated, you see a dude on stage, like maybe saying like a couple words here and there over a beat, right? And getting the people turned as hell. There was no like complex lyricism. There wasn't really like overcomplicated like rhyme patterns. There wasn't anything musically to it that was that amazing, but like they were getting people turned like back in the day, right? So I think like I kind of feel like people would hate me for this, but like you kind of have to categorize those dudes as MC, like Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, like what are some other ones? I don't even really know. I'm not up on that type of. I don't personally listen to it.
All those little rappers.
Yeah, I don't personally listen to them, but I'm not necessarily gonna hate on them either. They kind of are MCs. Like they kind of embody what it was founded upon in the first place, more than someone who is about their complex like lyricism and deep, thought-provoking lyrics. Not taking anything away from either party, but you know, you gotta be able to see with the facts. I think I would definitely consider them MCs, whether people disagree with me or not.
Tell us your top 5 favorite rappers of all time.
Eminem.
Okay. That's one.
My list is like constantly changing too, and it's always full of people that, you know, a lot of people have like their solidified top 5 of dudes that were doing it in the past or that are very well known, but Eminem was like the person who got me into music, so that's why he's number 1 who got me into rap music, so that's why he's number 1 in my personal opinion. Then 2 would be Jeff Turner, just because of the impact that he had, and then on me personally. And then I would say Obvi. If anyone's ever heard of Obvi from Roanoke Park, that dude can freestyle. Like, he can really, really, really freestyle, and he has a way of like gaining fans every time that he does a freestyle too. he has a way of making it sound super authentic every single time, whether he's spitting bullshit or not, you know. 4 would be E40. Just,
40 Wilder.
dude, E40, like, that dude was my high school soundtrack for so long, and like you got to give credit to someone who's been doing it in the Bay for as long as 40 has, and he's transcended like all trends and been able to, you know, he's employed some of the sounds that are used in today's day and age, but like he's still kept it himself, you know what I mean? And like that, I've always respected him for that. Top 5, the last one.
It's always the hardest one.
That is a hard one, actually, because the other 4 came up like super easy for me, actually. You know what? I'd probably say my homie Natrocious. He's from Sonoma, and it's kind of funny because like a lot of my list, aside from Eminem, is like super Cali based. I'm not biased, obviously, but Natrocious, he's also a dude that kind of like he's got that sing rap style on lock right now, and he understands what it means to be like a rapper, you know, going into every single freestyle cipher there is, and like whether he's pulling out a written or not, like he'll, you know, do his best at every chance that he can to make a new fan wherever he is, and he's always got like super positive attitude on everything. Definitely look up to him. Like, so that would be my top 5, my personal top 5 of my own choosing. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So out of all your whole like time rapping, who has been your favorite person to work with?
Man, that's like, I would probably say my homie Life. We actually have this one song that is on his album. Myself and our homie Sasquatch Josh all dropped our albums around on the same day actually. And Life and I had a song on his project that it had been recorded for like over a year, and then he had me go over it again just to make it more current because he wanted to go in and record his parts finally, right? So it's a song called What Is It, where we shot the first half of the video about like a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, and now we're shooting the rest this weekend, and it's one of my favorite songs that I've ever done. Like, the hook that I sang on it sounds really, really fly, and then you got his verses are really, really dope, and then like structurally speaking, like my verse on it just came together really nice, and he's been my homie since I really started rapping, so he's always been a great dude to work with in the community.
Cool. Shout out Life.
Shout out Lyrics in Full Effect, man.
Hell yeah. All right. What artists do you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
You know, now that my sound, like, my whole thing when I first started was like, I want my sound to get more developed before I start making a list of who I want to work with, because I want to be able to, like, I want to be able to go up to an MC that I want to work with and be able to hold my own on that song. Because even if we're just like making a song about personal stuff, like, there's always going to be that verse that like sticks out of the whole thing, right? And it's still like a bit of a competitive edge. I feel like you want to do better than the other person, especially if it's their song, because you want to get their fans. But like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I want to make a good song in general with whoever I'm working with, and styles got to mesh. But now that you asked that question, I really want to, you know, Jeff Turner's numero uno. I've name dropped him a lot. Anyway, it's fine. It's cool.
Shout out Jeff.
Shout out Jeff,
cool
bro.
Homies, yeah.
I'm like fanboying hella hard right now. But what are some names I haven't even said yet that the homie Amplified from, I can't really remember if he's from San Jose or Santa Cruz at this present moment, but that dude's been killing it, and he's got his own little niche in hip hop as well. So Amplified is one. And I think there's like a few others that I really want to work with, but I've been so focused on doing my own thing right now. So hopefully I get more collabs in the future though. Next year I want to get a lot more.
Definitely, dude. Okay, so who has been your biggest supporter throughout your whole musical career?
That would have to be my homie Jake. Like, that dude has... Okay, so you're an artist too.
Yeah.
Have you ever done like pay to play shows where you like sell tickets or something?
Yeah.
Like to get people out?
Mm-hmm.
You know those... You know there are like some shows, or maybe even most shows. I know for me it was like half and half. Like half of the shows, like you would get hell of the tickets sold hella quick, and then hella people would be in the building. And then the other half, it'd be like nothing but excuses from people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This dude Jake, bro, like no lie, almost all of my shows never had an excuse. Like there was only, I can count the times that he couldn't come to one of my shows on one hand. He's always bought every single piece of merch that I've ever come out with. Like him and his girlfriend have, you know, I've worked with him on getting him into shows like on the low or for free if I had the opportunity to do so. That I've known him since high school. He's been one of the biggest, he is the biggest supporter of this whole thing, and I really couldn't have been anywhere without him. I would have given up by now if it wasn't for him and his girlfriend Helly, for sure.
Good shit, man. Shout out to you, brother. Okay, so what would you say is your biggest high point of your career so far?
I feel like the highest point, and this is just like a personal thing for me, like it wasn't like I got any extreme accolade or anything, right? It was basically just like, you know, I got at the beginning of this year, at the very beginning of this year, I got asked to open up for R.A. the Rugged Man in Santa Cruz, and and Afro actually, and I went on right before Afro did, and you know, when crowds are able to tell that the headlining artists are about to start, they start like filing in and everything. So we were in the atrium of the Catalyst, which is like the smaller room, but it was packed. Like it was almost wall to wall of people in there, right? So like it was the biggest crowd I've ever performed in front of so far. And then not only that, like my mom was able to be there, so, and I got to perform the song that I had written for her right to her in front of all these people, right? And like it kind of like whenever I've performed that song, honestly, it's kind of brought me to tears, because like the song is called Proud of Me. It's like a track that really that I dug deep for, to let her know how sorry I was for all the stuff I put her through in the past and everything. But I would probably say like I haven't felt a high like that in a really long time. Like that shit was crazy to me, bro. Like really crazy.
That's what's up, dude. Okay, so you got a new project out right here. Want to tell us a little about it?
So this is Less Is More. You can find it on Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, even Microsoft Groove Music. Like you can find it all pretty much anywhere. I'm still waiting to see if it got approved by Pandora. I keep searching for it. It's not showing up, so I'm guessing it's not approved. But and they're also really nitpicky. Anyway, I digress. But basically, Less Is More was a handful of tracks out of a bigger group of tracks. I wrote about like 12 or 14 tracks over the span of a year, and I was going to put all of them on an album. Like I went out to my homie Johnny Souza, shout out Johnny Souza. I went out to his house in Reading, and I stayed there like 2 or 3 days, and I recorded, and he just let me into his studio. He was super accommodating and just like let me record one song after the other, and then I got the versions back, and I was like, they were all over leased beats, right? And I'm like, okay, so this is my first project. Like, for my first project, I kind of want original production. So I chose the songs that really resonated with me personally, the ones that I really felt comfortable, like, being, the ones that I really felt proud of, right? And I took them to this guy that I used to DJ with back in the day. His name is Paul, aka Heart Tricks. So shout out Heart Tricks as well.
Shout out to Tom.
He reworked all of the beats on those tracks, and actually he made completely new ones. It wasn't even reworking at all, but like I started spitting lyrics and he started building the beats around my lyrics. And then I started working with my homie Pisto, who he recorded the whole project except for 2 songs, and then I recorded 2 of those songs at Fury Figueroa's. I'm just giving you guys like all the history of the project and like letting you know how much this project meant to me to get done. For someone who's still very new relatively to hip hop and all of that, it meant a lot to get my first project done. And basically it's just talking about being open about who I am, like my aim in music, all the people, honoring the people that I've lost in my life, honoring my mother, like apologizing to people I've done wrong, celebrating the fact that I'm here to live another day, like reflecting on relationship issues, talking about the current state of our government and our country and police brutality. Like, so there's a lot that went into this project, and that's why it's also called Less is More, because there's only 7 tracks, but I feel like everything about it has so much meaning that you can't really pass it up. So please go check it out. I would really appreciate it.
That's right. And the link will be down in the description below. You can check it out there and all the other sites associated with it, so you can take a listen. Okay, so out of all the songs on this project, what do you say is your favorite one?
It's been changing around. Right now, just for the simple fact that like the beat hits really super hard and I feel like the hook is almost like an anthem, I'd probably say One Person, just because it always get like, the last time I performed it, like a lot of people were like singing along with me while I was doing like my little ad-libs that I do for live shows on it, right? And a lot of people were singing along with me. A lot of people were like grooving around. It was kind of like, in terms of like a banger from Dopeless, it was kind of like the first in the line of bangers that I'm working on. So it's kind of, it's got a lot of bass. It's got a lot of heart to it. And it's all about like, I don't care if I have a million haters. If like my music reaches one person, then that's really all I'm focused on. Like, that's really the end goal here is I was like one person that all these artists that I've listened to, I'm the person that they changed. I'm the person that really took a look at his own life based on the music that he was hearing. And that's kind of what I want my music to do for at least one other person. So that's why I would say it's my favorite for sure.
Good shit, dude. Alright, anything else you want to add to the people out there at all?
Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, dopelessmusic_1. Follow me on Twitter, dopelessmusic. And add me on Facebook even, like Brandon Michael Randall, if you really want to. That's kind of about it. Reckless, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. And shout out to anybody watching. Appreciate you.
Cool. Alright, y'all, stay right out for the interview. Make sure to follow him and all social media sites. The links will be down in the description below. And make sure to hit that like button and to put that little notification bell so you can never miss another video from me. Alright, and we out this bitch.